An extinction event is a widespread and rapid decrease in the amount of life on Earth. Such an event is identified by a sharp change in the diversity and abundance of multicellular organisms. It occurs when the rate of extinction increases with respect to the rate of speciation. Because the majority of diversity and biomass on Earth is microbial, and thus difficult to measure, recorded extinction events affect the easily observed, biologically complex component of the biosphere rather than the total diversity and abundance of life. Extinction occurs at an uneven rate, based on the fossil record. The background rate of extinctions on Earth is about 2 to 5 taxonomic families of marine animals every million years. Marine fossils are mostly used to measure extinction rates because of the superior fossil record and stratigraphic range compared to land organisms. The Great Oxygenation Event was probably the first major extinction event. Since the Cambrian explosion, 5 further major mass extinctions have significantly exceeded the background extinction rate. The most recent and debatably best known, the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, which occurred approximately 66 million years ago, was a large-scale mass extinction of animal and plant species in a geologically short period of time. In addition to the 5 major mass extinctions, there are numerous minor ones as well, and the ongoing mass extinction caused by human activity is sometimes called the 6th extinction. Mass extinctions seem to be a mainly Phanerozoic phenomenon, with extinction rates low before large complex organisms arose. Estimates of the number of major mass extinctions in the last 540 million years range from as few as 5 to more than 20. These differences stem from the threshold chosen for describing an extinction event as major, and the data chosen to measure past diversity. Major extinction events. In a landmark paper published in 1982, Jack Sepkoski and David M. Raup identified 5 mass extinctions. They were originally identified as outliers to a general trend of decreasing extinction rates during the Phanerozoic, but as more stringent statistical tests have been applied to the accumulating data, it has been established that multicellular animal life has experienced 5 major and many minor mass extinctions. The Big Five cannot be so clearly defined, but rather appear to represent the largest of a relatively smooth continuum of extinction events. Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, 66 Ma at the Cretaceous-Paleogene transition interval. The event, formerly called the Cretaceous-Tertiary (KT) extinction, a KT boundary, is now officially named the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event. About 17% of all families, 50% of all genera and 75% of all species became extinct. In the seas, all the ammonites, plesiosaurs and mosasaurs disappeared, and the percentage of sessile animals was reduced to about 33%. All non-avian dinosaurs became extinct during that time. The boundary event was severe, with a significant amount of variability in the rate of extinction between and among different clades, mammals and birds. The latter descended from theropod dinosaurs, emerged as dominant large land animals. Triassic-Jurassic extinction event, 201.3 Ma at the Triassic-Jurassic transition. About 23% of all families, 48% of all genera and 70% to 75% of all species became extinct. Most non-dinosaurian archosaurs, most therapsids, and most of the large amphibians were eliminated, leaving dinosaurs with little terrestrial competition. Non-dinosaurian archosaurs continued to dominate aquatic environments, while non-archosaurian diapsids continued to dominate marine environments. The temnospondyle lineage of large amphibians also survived until the Cretaceous in Australia. Permian-Triassic extinction event. 252 Ma at the Permian-Triassic transition. Earth's largest extinction killed 57% of all families, 83% of all genera and 90% to 96% of all species. The highly successful marine arthropod, the trilobite, became extinct. The evidence of plants is less clear, but new taxa became dominant after the extinction. The Great Dying had enormous evolutionary significance. On land, it ended the primacy of mammal-like reptiles. The recovery of vertebrates took 30 million years, but the vacant niches created the opportunity for archosaurs to become ascendant. In the seas, the percentage of animals that were sessile dropped from 67% to 50%. The whole late Permian was a difficult time for at least marine life, even before the Great Dying. Late Devonian extinction, 375 to 360 Ma near the Devonian Carboniferous transition. At the end of the Frasnian Age in the later part of the Devonian period, a prolonged series of extinctions eliminated about 19% of all families, 50% of all genera and at least 70% of all species. This extinction event lasted perhaps as long as 20 million years, and there is evidence for a series of extinction pulses within this period. Ordovician-Silurian extinction events, 450 to 440 Ma at the Ordovician-Silurian transition. Two events occurred that killed off 27% of all families, 57% of all genera and 60% to 70% of all species. Together they are ranked by many scientists as the second largest of the 5 major extinctions in Earth's history in terms of percentage of genera that became extinct. Despite the popularization of these 5 events, there is no fine line separating them from other extinction events. Using different methods of calculating an extinction's impact can lead to other events featuring in the top 5. The older the fossil record gets, the more difficult it is to read. This is because older fossils are harder to find as they are usually buried at a considerable depth. Dating older fossils is more difficult. Productive fossil beds are researched more than unproductive ones, therefore leaving certain periods unresearched. Prehistoric environmental events can disturb the deposition process. The preservation of fossils varies on land, but marine fossils tend to be better preserved than the sought-after land-based counterparts. It has been suggested that the apparent variations in marine biodiversity may actually be an artifact, with abundance estimates directly related to quantity of rock available for sampling from different time periods. However, statistical analysis shows that this can only account for 50% of the observed pattern, and other evidence provides reassurance that most widely accepted extinction events are real. A quantification of the rock exposure of Western Europe indicates that many of the minor events for which a biological explanation has been sought are most readily explained by sampling bias. Research completed after the seminal 1982 paper has concluded that a 6th mass extinction event is ongoing. 6. Holocene extinction. Currently ongoing extinctions have occurred at over 1,000 times the background extinction rate since 1900. The mass extinction is considered a result of human activity. List of extinction events. This is a list of extinction events. Evolutionary importance. Mass extinctions have sometimes accelerated the evolution of life on Earth. When dominance of particular ecological niches passes from one group of organisms to another, it is rarely because the new dominant group is superior to the old, and usually because an extinction event eliminates the old dominant group and makes way for the new one. For example, mammaliforms and then mammals existed throughout the reign of the dinosaurs, but could not compete for the large terrestrial vertebrate niches which dinosaurs monopolize. The end Cretaceous mass extinction removed the non-avian dinosaurs and made it possible for mammals to expand into the large terrestrial vertebrate niches. Ironically, the dinosaurs themselves had been beneficiaries of a previous mass extinction, the end Triassic, which eliminated most of their chief rivals, the crurotarsans. Another point of view put forward in the escalation hypothesis predicts that species in ecological niches with more organism-to-organism conflict will be less likely to survive extinctions. This is because the very traits that keep a species numerous and viable under fairly static conditions become a burden once population levels fall. Among competing organisms during the dynamics of an extinction event. Furthermore, many groups which survive mass extinctions do not recover in numbers or diversity, and many of these go into long-term decline, and these are often referred to as dead kiddies walking. Darwin was firmly of the opinion that biotic interactions, such as competition for food and space, the struggle for existence, were of considerably greater importance in promoting evolution and extinction than changes in the physical environment. He expressed this in The Origin of Species. Species are produced and exterminated by slowly acting causes. And the most important of all causes of organic change is one which is almost independent of altered physical conditions, namely the mutual relation of organism to organism, the improvement of one organism entailing the improvement or extermination of others. Patterns in frequency. It has been suggested variously that extinction events occurred periodically every 26 to 30 million years, or the diversity fluctuates episodically every till the 62 million years. Various ideas attempt to explain the supposed pattern, including the presence of a hypothetical companion star to the Sun, oscillations in the galactic plane, or passage through the Milky Way's spiral arms. However, other authors have concluded the data on marine mass extinctions do not fit with the idea that mass extinctions are periodic, or that ecosystems gradually build up to a point at which a mass extinction is inevitable. Many of the proposed correlations have been argued to be spurious. Others have argued that there is strong evidence supporting periodicity in a variety of records, and additional evidence in the form of coincident periodic variation in non-biological geochemical variables. Mass extinctions are thought to result when a long-term stress is compounded by a short-term shock. Over the course of the Phanerozoic, individual taxa appear to be less likely to become extinct at any time, which may reflect more robust food webs as well as less extinction-prone species and other factors such as continental distribution. However, even after accounting for sampling bias, there does appear to be a gradual decrease in extinction and origination rates during the Phanerozoic. This may represent the fact that groups with higher turnover rates are more likely to become extinct by chance, or it may be an artifact of taxonomy. Families tend to become more speciose, therefore less prone to extinction over time, and larger taxonomic groups appear earlier in geological time. It has also been suggested that the oceans have gradually become more hospitable to life over the last 500 million years, and thus less vulnerable to mass extinctions. But susceptibility to extinction at a taxonomic level does not appear to make mass extinctions more or less probable.